What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday, which of course means it's time for another Western New York Wednesday here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today, once again, comes from the Southern Tier Brewing Company, and they're out of Lakewood, New York, and this is their caramel cookie bar, and this is a part of their Blackwater series. So this is a chocolate bar Imperial Stout, and on the side of the label it says ale with natural flavors and also made with milk sugar, aka lactose. It comes in at 10% alcohol by volume, 20 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is just over 9 weeks old and also has a best by date of March 6th of 2026. So they give this one a 1-year best by date. So according to Southern Tier, we should be more than good to go. So if you've been following the channel since its inception back in 2018, you probably know that Southern Tier for many, many years was one of my favorite New York State breweries. If you go back from the late 2000s until the mid 2010s, they're probably my favorite New York State brewery, period. Every single release from them I would pick up, and they usually killed it with their Blackwater series and pretty much anything they released. However, I'd say in the 2020s specifically, they've been very hit or miss for me. Case in point, a couple weeks ago I reviewed their cherry pie dessert imperial ale, and it tastes like medicinal cherries. It tasted like cherry cough drops to me. One of the worst beers I've had from Southern Tier. A couple years ago, I had their peanut butter cup Imperial Stout, a part of this Blackwater series. It tastes like butter popcorn. I hated it. Some of you liked it. Some of you agreed with me, is what it is. But they've brought back some favorites, and they've released some other beers that I really do enjoy, like Mocha, for example, in this series. Still a great beer. But at the end of the day, I'm still going to try out Southern Tier stuff because they still hold a special place in my heart. As you can see, I have their, t-shirt, the proper glassware, the whole nine. So I'm hoping they turn it around for me personally. We'll see if they do. Anyway, this one, kind of interested in, picking up a bottle of it. So I did. I think they're going for basically a Twix in Imperial Stout form. They say over here, satisfy your sweet tooth. Notes of milk chocolate and gooey caramel wrap around sweet cookie for a smooth taste of your favorite candy bar. Take a break, which is where I think the Twix. Obviously, give me a break. Anyway, take a break from ordinary and taste something so crave-worthy. One is never enough. Well, one's going to be enough for me today, regardless of how good this is, because it's 10%. It's probably going to be sweet. We'll see. So yeah, I think they're going for a Twix. If not, maybe one of those Little Debbie caramel cookie bars that they have as well. But I'm pretty sure it's Twix based on everything I read and what they're going for. So we got the hashtag proper glassware, and we will pour it label out. Shout out to Paul over at PA Brew News. So try to generate a head if I can here with a harder pour. Not really. Just a little bit. So what does that look like? Well, that, friends, looks fantastic in the glass. That looks... Got hashtag proper glassware 4 days. That looks absolutely fan-fucking-tastic in the glass. No questions about it. Looks awesome. So, if you want to look at the beer itself, we'll do something like that. But yeah, it's pitch black. Has I'd say about 3/4 of a finger of this straight-up tan or khaki-colored head. Looks somewhat creamy, but it barely formed. Pitch black. Really can't see through it. Whole nine. Let's get a nose. Dude, that smells fucking gnarly. Doesn't smell exactly like a Twix, but the caramel in this is fucking insane. It doesn't smell fake, even though they're using natural flavors and lactose and whatnot. It smells like they said gooey caramel. It smells like caramel. Dude. How can they go from that cherry pie beer, which smelled like fucking cherry, I can't even fucking speak. I'm so pissed off, but also super excited right now. It smelled like cherry cough drops. How can it go from that to then they release something like this that smells like absolute pure deliciousness in a glass? Yeah, it's sweet dark chocolate, caramel, like a sweet, luscious caramel. Like almost like if you ever bought like, let's just put Twix to the side. If you've ever bought like from your local chocolate tier, maybe you have one locally in your city or town, and they make, like a mixed box of different, chocolate covered candies, and you had like the chocolate caramel ones. That's what this smells like. It smells like a luscious, like artisan version of a Twix bar. Caramel, chocolate, even that like crackery, like maybe even a little bit of nougat. Dude, Wow. Wow. I did not anticipate that this was going to smell as good as it does. All right. Please carry over to the taste. Please don't taste super artificial and natural. Yeah, when I say natural, I mean natural. Just make it taste like a beer. That's all I'm looking for. A very delicious pastry beer. Anyway, cheers, everyone. First things first, you're going to need to love caramel to enjoy this beer. It has such a rich, deep caramel flavor. And they say gooey caramel, sure. It is sweet, don't get me wrong. Is it cloying? I don't know. We'll see. But they pretty much nailed hit the nail on the head here. This is really good. Really good. All right, go back in. %, bit thin. This is higher side of medium, lower side of full. In fact, that cherry pie beer was more viscous and kind of thick, almost syrupy and oily than this is. It's not really a detriment to the beer, but it definitely is a little bit thin. I'd say at the highest it's lower side of full, but it's more like higher side of medium, lower side of full. The mouth feels nice, has like a approaching moderate carbonation, a little bit of smoothness on the finish, touch of creaminess from the lactose. The taste, sweet milk chocolate, like I said. It's more dark chocolate than nose, but in the taste is more milk chocolate meets gooey caramel, as they say, but it's just like a sweet, rich kind of caramel. There's a little bit of that, like, cookie essence to it. So it does taste like a Twix to some degree. It doesn't taste exactly like a Twix, but like, let's say you wanted to, like an off-brand Twix. Or like, again, the chocolatier wanted to make their own homemade artisan Twix, but it doesn't taste exactly like Twix. Fine by me. That's pretty much the predominant note. A little bit of underlying like roasted malt, very slight. A little bit of coffee. That's pretty much it. It doesn't taste to me, and this is going to where a lot of people are going to disagree. I feel when you start using natural flavors, you'll have some people who don't pick up on the natural flavors and they taste authentic. You get some people who all they can taste is artificial flavors. And then you'll get some folks in between. With this one specifically, and again, I'm somebody who called their peanut butter cup Imperial Stout, said it tasted like buttered popcorn. It smelled like buttered popcorn, because it did to me. Some people said, no, it tasted exactly like a peanut butter cup in beer form. To each their own, obviously. This does taste like exactly what they're going for. If you look at the picture on the label there, right here, right, that looks like a Twix. Looks like a Twix bar right there. And you get everything. Milk chocolate, the gooey caramel, the cookie part, you get everything. The base beer gets lost a little bit, for sure, but that's kind of the expectation for this beer. Is it too rich, decadent, and sweet? I think I can drink. I'm going to drink the rest of this, but I don't think they say not a never one. I think they're talking about the Twix. You never. You want both of them. But for this, I'm definitely one and done. But that goes for most 10% beers. But this specifically, because of the intensity of the flavors, the sweetness, the decadent kind of vibe to this one, it's definitely one and done. And probably by the last 2 or 3 ounces, I'll probably be like, oof, all right, I'll finish it up, but I could leave it be. This is delicious. There are some things bothering me a little bit, like the body being a little bit thin, a little bit sweeter than I'd like, and the lack of complexity. But I gotta call a spade, and I think they did a great job with this one, especially in comparison to that cherry pie and the peanut butter cup beer and everything that I've had before. So, is Southern Tier back in my good graces? Yeah, I think they are. They never were out of my... Like, listen, I know we're all different, but like I told you guys before, I've been drinking Southern Tier stuff for over 15 years now, and I'm still going to buy their stuff until it gets to the point where maybe they lose me on every new release, but some of their new releases, like something like this, I can still get behind. But there's going to be beers that I don't like, and I'm always honest with my reviews, and that's where I'll leave it. So I think they did a damn good job with this one. I wish there was more of a dryness and more of a bitterness on the finish. It has like a semi-dry finish, a mild bitterness, but I want more dryness and bitterness to really rein in the sweetness and the rich and decadent qualities of this one. So I could drink, if I wanted to, a couple of bottles of it. I wouldn't, but let's just say I wanted to. Because as is, I don't think I could. So, Caramel Cookie Bar, and part of their Blackwater series, I'm going to give this a very solid, and by solid I mean really good, high 4.25. I'll go 4.3 out of 5. I really like this one. I think they did a great job with it. And yeah, I could see how maybe folks wouldn't enjoy this one, but I do. So anyway, price point availability here in the Buffalo, New York area, always with all of these Blackwater series beers and their Imperial Ale series and everything, $13.99 4-pack. If you buy a single, you're probably looking at $4. I think I paid like $3.79 or $3.89 for that bottle. So that's the price point here. I know some of you said it's a bit more expensive. If you had to pay more than, say, $16 for a 4-pack of this, I wouldn't. It's just, that's kind of expensive. But if you get this around 14 to 16 bucks a 4-pack, all day, every day, and availability, it's Southern Tier. This is one of their newer releases. You probably should have seen it on the shelves over the past couple of months. If not, then you might not see it. I don't know. Distro's weird. Shout out to Chaz, viewer of the channel. We always talk distro. When it comes to distribution here in the US, it's so wonky nowadays. I try to do this whole price point availability thing at the end, but the reality is I really don't know anymore. I try to guess. So this is more of me guessing than anything else. Same thing with the price point. You could buy this, maybe somewhere out west and it's $20 4-pack. That's insane. I paid $13.99. So it is what it is. But I would say if you can get this under $16 4-pack and you can grab it, and you can specifically grab a single, try this one out. You might be disappointed, you might not, but we're all different. So if you've had this one before, please post in the comment section. Did you think it tasted too artificial? Did it taste, too fake, I guess is the best way to describe it, fake, artificial, or did you love it like I did? I think this is one of the better Blackwater series beers that I've had from Southern Tier in a long time, especially of a newer release and not something they've re-released. This is delicious. It doesn't taste exactly like Twix, but it's not far off. So anyway, that does it for another Western New York Wednesday. No more Southern Tier beers. We'll go back to some other local Western New York beers starting next week. And yeah, I'm going to shut this one down. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Did I even talk about 10%? 10%, I don't think I did. Nice warming in my chest, nothing on the palate. They usually hide the alcohol well in these Blackwater Imperial Stout series beers, and I think they did a good job here. I definitely feel it in my chest, though, but it's 10%. You kind of expect it. So yeah, I think they did a good job overall with this one. So I'm going to shut this one down. Appreciate it. To the next one. Cheers.